going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the other day, update 2.4 finally dropped for XDefiant, and let me tell you guys something. It was a pretty small update. When it comes to the patch notes and you read them over, it wasn't, a crazy amount of stuff being done. But boy, oh boy, although the patch notes are small, the update, in my opinion, was absolutely massive. Again, I appreciate everybody who tuned into the live stream the other day, hung out with me while I tested out the update. If you guys want to do so again today, I will be live, probably a bit later though. Usually we start streams around 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern time. Today we're going to start probably around 1:30 p.m. Eastern time, and we'll go until maybe like 6:30, 7 p.m. Eastern time. So if you guys got a little free time in your day and you want to hang out with me, check out the update again, see me further test it out, and just help me out on the camo grind, by all means, tune into the stream. I got a link to my Twitch channel down in the description of this video. But ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and dive deep into the actual update itself. Now, as we know, they made a few tweaks to the netcode beforehand, but they were mostly just tweaks to prep us for the massive netcode change that's going to be probably coming more than likely with mid-season when it, regards to Season 2 and XDefiant here. So when it came to the previous update, you already know a lot of people weren't really impressed, including myself, but I acknowledged the purpose of the netcode update, and I wasn't really looking for any crazy netcode changes. But in this update, as you can see right here, netcode. In the previous update, Season 2.3, we made additional adjustments to the kill trade window that narrowed time span in which two players can die simultaneously by exchanging fire. We refined this window by splitting it into two different times based on the weapons wielded. High damage weapons, snipers, marksmen, shotguns, and some pistols have a larger window, whereas the lower damage weapons, any not listed above, have a reduced trading window. These adjustments should improve the natural flow of kill trades. They'll happen when you expect them to happen, but reduce kill trading overall, while preventing a hit marker being displayed, yet no damage being dealt on death. We'll continue to monitor this and adjust where necessary, guys. Let me tell you guys right frickin' now. This is absolutely phenomenal. So again, SMGs, a lot of the assault rifles, so on and so forth, are going to have a lower time frame window, whereas the beefier weapons are going to have a high, damage time frame window. And again, I think this is phenomenal because it has definitely reduced the amount of trades I've gotten within XDefiant. Beforehand, it was definitely better. Don't get me wrong. The way they reduced it in the first, update was decent enough where I didn't trade as much, but it was still a relevant issue, right? I'll tell you right now, in a 4-hour, almost 5-hour play session, I traded maybe 2 times. And realistically, those 2 trades were understandable. I didn't really get too salty about it. But of course, I still agree that I think that trading should not really be something that happens if, not at all. It should be something that is a very extremely rare occurrence. So the fact that it's still happening is, it sucks. It definitely sucks, and I hope they continue to tweak it. But boy, oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, the netcode is so freaking responsive right now. I was honestly blown away. Personally, when I hopped into the game, I wasn't really expecting too big of a difference regarding the netcode, hit reg, so on and so forth. But the second I started playing, my shots were just absolutely connecting. Everything felt smooth, fluent. The gunplay felt on point. And let me tell you, it was an absolute night and day difference. I know a lot of people are going to come to this and say, well, every single netcode update they put out they're such minor little changes. They don't really, handle anything or fix anything. Now, this update is nothing like those other netcode changes. Nothing at all. This one has drastically improved the overall game flow. And to be honest, if they didn't say anything about this, I would just assume that this was the big netcode update. I gotta be real with you guys. I would have automatically assumed that this was the big netcode update. That is how clean and smooth this game is performing right now. And the best part about it, we still have that big update coming still. Oh, God. That just feels amazing to have this minor update come through for the netcode. Just be something so spectacular and solid. And knowing that an even bigger update is right around the corner is one of the best feelings in the frickin' universe. Now, I don't know when this update's going to come alive here. It might be update 2.5 since I'm assuming that's mid-season, or it might be a little bit later. But from the developers, they said that we should be expecting, obviously the big netcode change, which is going to be transferring packets faster, which once again, we have kill trading right now. I think that right there will resolve so many issues within this game. Like the way that it feels now, that update is truly 1010% going to be a night and day difference. So I can't wait for it. I'm just happy that we're in a good spot right now for the netcode and that it's only going to get better and better. And I think people are going to really be happy with the current spot it's in. Because if this can maintain itself, if they can truthfully maintain this and keep this going and keep this, this very fluent gameplay pumping, I think Season 3 can come in with a bunch of content and win a lot of people over and bring people back into the cycle of XDefiant. But guys, that's not the end of this video. Let's get over to the audio portion of this one. Again, there's a lot of other things going on within this update here, but I don't really find them very crucial. It's good information for bug fixes and stuff like that, but the two biggest things are the netcode changes and the audio changes. Ladies and gentlemen, the audio is absolutely fixed. It is fixed better than probably before. But as you can see right here, audio corrected the satisfying explosion of a destroyed spotter bot, so the sound effect is no longer cut off mid-boom or heard across the entire map. Gunfire and footstep sound effects were becoming muffled after dying in some situations, not anymore. And here's the big one right here. Tuned footsteps to ensure that sprinting, running, standard movement, and walking, moving while ADS, fade in and out naturally at the correct distances from the player, starting at 35 meters for sprinting, 30 meters for running, and 25 meters for walking. Crouch walking remains silent, the stealthiest way to travel. Friendly footsteps, meanwhile, should only become audible at closer distances. These changes address player feedback that enemies were sneaking up on them, approaching silently around corners, and were otherwise difficult to hear. Guys, it's perfect. It's outstanding. And the way they handled it is just, they went above and beyond. Like I said, the little touch of only allowing your, teammates' footsteps to be heard a lot better up close and personal is great. Because when you hear at the distance, more than likely it's going to be an enemy. And then up close and personal, you have to start differentiating between teammates' footsteps and enemy footsteps. But it's great now. I hear enemies all the time. I can finally understand rotations, when someone's flanking, if they're inside a building, if they're outside a building, what textures they're running on. Basically, exactly how it was before with some slight new tweaks and improvements. But this is what we needed, because the way the audio was before, it was pretty much dead silence. Everybody in the world was rocking dead silence. Now, I gotta be real, in a game like XDefiant, I don't think that is required. I really truthfully don't. You can hear people's footsteps and you can still be extraordinarily aggressive, and camping isn't really accepted too well in this game. And I'm not saying by the community, I'm just saying by the gameplay design decisions, that the developers put forward in this game. Camping typically gets you killed. Whereas in a game like Call of Duty, it's nice to have a perk like Dead Silence, because honestly, you could just go to the first darkest corner you see, sit there, and wait for anybody to come running by. And it gets obnoxious because that's all people do. They bait out people for streaks, they sound whore, so on and so forth. But it fits in COD, but in XDefiant, it was just a disaster because it's very aggressive. Everybody's running, everybody's moving. And the amount of times I got shot in the back, just simply because of the map designs and stuff like that, it was becoming too tedious. Just way too tedious. I could deal with it because I wanted to play the game still, so obviously I put up with that fact. But let me tell you, after suffering with no audio for all that time and then having the footsteps back, like I said, it's a night and day difference. The game plays so good now, ladies and gentlemen. Seriously, if you haven't hopped back on XDefiant to give this game a go, I highly suggest doing so. Now, I'll admit, there's not much to grind for besides the final camo, which I think is a fun grind. I enjoy doing it myself personally. Right now, I'm just trying to finish off a few other guns. I already unlocked the exact amount of weapons, to unlock the 500 camo itself. So I'm good on that end, but I still want to bring up all the other weapons up, the ones that I didn't bother working on because it wasn't required. Because I have a gut feeling that the new camo coming after Season 3 is going to require pretty much all the weapons that you got to be leveled up to maybe 400 to 500. So, I'm still going to try to get every single gun completely maxed in this game. And I think that's kind of fun. But I think people should just simply return just because of the netcode improvements and the audio being implemented back into the game. Those two things combined has made the flow of this game phenomenal. And like I said, maybe a couple of minutes ago, this is great for the future because the game is finally forming out to be something extraordinarily solid, which means the devs can finally shift their attention. Not now because they still have more work, but they can finally shift their attention soon to the content portion of things. And they can start kicking out, bigger seasons with potentially more content. and they can also hyper-focus events, so on and so forth. Basically, their main priority could be to have the mass majority of devs work on fun things instead of having to hunker down and focus on the netcode 24/7. But ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have for you guys. If you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hated it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I post daily here at 8 in the morning Eastern Time. Like I said, I'm going to be starting my stream up probably a bit late today at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. But if you guys are interested, I have a link to my Twitch channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you all on the next one. Peace out.